Sup, it's Alex Grimm, and you're here to install some vintage arcade games on your PC. But let me take care of the noobs real quick that don't know what WinRAR is or 7-zip. I mean, if you don't know what WinRAR is or 7-zip, you're in big trouble. I'll leave it down in the link for you to download, and you'll download it and run as administrator, right click, run as administrator, whatever, and just, click install. And then after that, on the next screen, just like select all the different types of things you want it to open, all right, and hit OK or whatever. I mean, it's real simple, okay, but you gotta have it. That's like one of the first things I install when I rebuild a hard drive is my WinRAR. So if you don't know what it is, you must be, you're in big trouble. Anyway, so just right click on any archive then and go down to extract here and it'll extract it here. Real simple. That's what it's for. All right click, extract here. Okay. See? Now we've got the arcade games and the vintage arcade unarchived. You can't distribute them together in one download. It's illegal. So many people separate them. Just take the ROMs, copy them, and paste them or move them from one window to another into their corresponding MAME arcades. Like, we took 103, we took the ROMs for 103 and put it into the folder MAME 103. I mean, just drop it right in there. Okay, those are all your games. Okay, just double click on the MAME32.exe, and in 139 it's the MAME.exe, but that's how you get it going. We can play some Rastan here. That's the whole reason I got this back in 2009. Was any of these games. That was the original reason why I got a USB controller and got any of these emulators. I had to have Rastan on computer. Now Rastan doesn't like to screen cap very well. So we'll bust out the flip cam and I'll pause the dream scene and we'll start the game. Press any key at that screen or hit OK or move the control stick back and forth, whatever. 5 puts in a quarter. 1 is player 1 start. That's basically all the stuff right there. You know how to use MAME. I mean, well, not entirely. Okay, there's all sorts of extra stuff. But you don't have to do that stuff. That's the whole thing. What I'm giving you, I just saved you a lot of time. Okay, you might want to go, actually learn how to use these MAME arcade emulators because, you're not going to learn much here. All you're going to do is take those ROMs out of the folder and put it into the other folder that's got the emulator in it. And it's already, all my settings are on there. This is Grimm settings. In fact, this Rastan game is on hardest. You can actually you press tab and go in and select your difficulty. And I have this on the hardest setting because basically I like Rastan because back in 1987 I would because this is my game, all right. Because I like Conan the Barbarian and all that shit, like the old Arnold Schwarzenegger Conan, and I've played all sorts of role-playing games and shit like that, all sorts of, people say like Dungeons and Dragons, but that's we played cooler games than that, okay, like Warhammer Fantasy Role-Play and all that shit, okay, yeah, I mean, I lived this shit. I like Game of Thrones, and many of my subscribers know I like Game of Thrones and shit. I like all this fantasy swords and sorcery shit. So this is my favorite arcade game, and I had to have it on computer. And so I got a USB controller in 2009 and figured out how to do this. Alright, let me show you another game I really like. This one's newer. It seems to screen cap better too, so we'll use the screen cap instead of flip cam. At those screens we were just at, hit OK, or usually I just hit a bunch of buttons and jiggle my controller back and forth, the joystick and stuff like that to get through all that crap. Alright, but this one's pretty okay. It's newer than Rastan, for sure. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, if you hit tab, okay, we can go into the different settings and, like, you know, you can adjust your controls and stuff. I usually just leave it the way it is and use, like, you know, the button. I find my buttons, you know, what does what, and I just use that. I don't even go through all this stuff. But yeah, hitting tab will bring up, like, these extra windows where you can select your difficulty and all that stuff. Yeah, there's other stuff like in MAME 89, the Sinistar, which is another one of my favorite games. You have to open it twice the first time. You know, it'll like load up factory settings and all this different stuff, and then you'll escape out of it, and then you'll do it again, and then it will play. There's, you know, the little quirks like that. Okay. Here, I'll show you in Rastan. Yeah, if you hit tab, you can go down to dip switches, and this is where you can find difficulty. I guess it wasn't in the other Dungeons and Dragons game, but you know, that's what I do is I switch it up to hardest on the difficulty. And you can change your lives and all that stuff, how many lives you got and stuff like that. Some games have that. I'd say 95% of these games function the way they're supposed to. So, you know, expect some little quirks and stuff. Remember, these are all emulated. This isn't like the actual game in the arcade, you know. Links in the description and stuff like that. No, I don't have Pac-Man in there. It's hard to get a working Pac-Man and stuff like that. And I've never been able to get Street Fighter 2 Turbo to work in these. That's what I use Super Nintendo for. Guess we'll end on some Sinistar here. Some games require like a light gun or something, but they work. Centipede, it's nice to have a roller ball, but you can get by. Whatever. Anyway, I'll just leave it there. Grim out.